Happy Sunday to YouTube. I am relaxing on a Sunday, enjoying my day. My family has decided to go to a movie. I'm not much on the movies. I'd like to see them at home. That way I don't have to hear all the coughing and jingling of keys and whistling and people's cell phones going off in the movie theater that I paid, $12, $15 to see. I have to put up with all these surveillors. But I had a comment on my page and wanted to recommend a channel. The Crow House, he has a new video out. The government is a terrorist. And it is talking about false flag events and how the people at the top, it's all about elitist and how they keep domestic terrorism going. So it's along the lines of targeting. It's not... this guy doesn't mention targeting per se, but you can read between the lines. But this is the site, rogerbrown.com, and it's talking about vehicle surveillance, basic tactics of the FBI. There's 5 articles. I have read 2 of these articles. I'm going to read just parts of it to you. If you go to, I think it was second to the last video, you'll see a link in the comment, but rogerbrown.com. So the FBI has a floating box. When you leave your home and you notice vehicles coming from different ways, they are creating their floating box. They have what they call a stakeout box, a trigger vehicle, cheating vehicle. They talk about, in this particular article, vehicle modifications, to dim the headlights, to make one of the headlights go out, that kind of thing. And they use a potpourri of different vehicles, to do all of this surveillance. And they use people of all walks of life, grandmothers to young children, families, lone wolves, that kind of thing. Anybody can be a surveiller for the FBI or government, and you cannot look at somebody and tell whether they are a surveiller or not. It just matters whether they're greedy enough to do it. So this was specifically very interesting to me to read. It's talking about disabling the front headlights, brighten the headlight lamps, the brake lights, how they can disable them to confuse you and to avoid detection, a stall switch, and they call them wheel artists. How funny. To simulate a vehicle breakdown. I've had people stall in the middle of intersections before, and especially, when I first started learning about my targeting, they would stall at the red lights, put on a wrong blinker or whatever, and that is for delaying your arrival or departure somewhere. Bumpers being reinforced, and then this, driver communications, how they communicate through codes, why you never see them communicating. They might have an internally mounted earpiece, and then it gives you a scenario of how they might communicate. This real-time communication to do the floating box, and then the basic tactics. And I have experienced all of these. And it tells that they use utility vehicles, 18-wheelers, motorcycles. I've had all of them that can blend into the traffic. And then it talks about anybody with a pulse could be a part of this. And then I wanted to, see, it talks about how they position themselves to catch you any way you go. They talk about the U-turn being specifically good to divert them. So these are the diversions and decoys that they use, and I have experienced every single one of these. tailgating. And it says it takes your mind off things. It can be a distraction. They can bright you from the back. Musical chairs. You're stopped at a red light, and the car ahead of you gets out and rummages through his trunk. I've had them do that, and I've also had them put their feet out at stop signs while they're still going as a diversion. Confused drivers. I had this at the theme park with a driver in a black truck, and he had a vet sticker on his tag. It says they take forever to make left turn, or they straddle lanes. Yes, I have that. Swervers, or they make a turn and change their mind and continue on. It's all distractions. Sloppy drivers, they drive over the curves. They might speed and careen recklessly. Had all of that. And then having people walk on the side of the road, maybe of the opposite gender. I never look at pedestrians, so they're wasting their time if they're trying to get my attention through pedestrians. I pretty much keep my eye on what I'm looking at because there's so many distractions, fake wrecks, people coming by and painted up cars. I think I talked to you about the vehicle that had Joker written on the back of it. It looked like it had just been splattered with paint, and they were making a joke, I guess, about my bumper sticker. The song "Jokers to the left, clowns to the right," or something like that. But anyway, yeah, they'll do all that, and then it talks about the foot surveillance team, how they even do it with walking targets and the communication and how they hand off all of their stuff. And they have some more articles telling about how you can defend yourself. You know, you really have to learn to pay attention and not look at the blowing. You know, let your attention be taken by blowing horns, noise, harassment, people walking on the side of the road, bicycles, motorcyclists, funky colored cars and weird looking things, people doing hand motions, imitating you in front of in their vehicle and that kind of thing, putting their hand out, making signals. One day we were going to the lake here, and these guys with the Texas license plate he put his hand out of the window and had 4 fingers up, meaning 4 people were in my vehicle. They wanted to make sure that all of us were accounted for. So I catch on to all these things. If I'm not driving, it tends to be a little bit more distracting for me because I'm a passenger and I notice it. But when I'm driving, I've learned to only look ahead and keep myself safe in my peripheral, and that's it. I just pay no mind to pedestrians or, wrecks. I don't rubberneck. I don't do a lot of the things that they want to distract me by, because their whole goal is to get you distracted, make you anxious. And this right here, the FBI has no reason to be using these tactics on normal civilians that are not terrorists. This is illegal. This is, I don't care what you call it, surveillance or whatever. It is stalking, called stalking. Because you have been put in a program for whatever reason that they have decided to put you in a program. I didn't sign up. I didn't consent to this, and it is unconstitutional. But my government refuses to do anything about it. I have tried to get help. So my thing is to fight it the best way I can, ignore these people, starve them, and then make awareness to people that will listen to me. I will start talking to the people in my community and letting them know how corrupt their government and community service agents are. These people call themselves auditors, and they go along with whatever their government tells them to do because they're fearful that they'll become a target themselves. Well, you're already targeted if you are surveilling other people. They have a thumb on you. They know exactly where you are, what you're talking about. So you are already targeted, my dear. If you have been hoodwinked by your government into doing this, you have a hard time getting out of this once you are in it, and know about these things. And also knowing about this program will make you a target. The fact that I know how corrupt my government is has made me a prime target for all kinds of harassment and surveillance. But yes, do look at Roger P. Brown, and I highly recommend The Crow House, their recent video talking about the government and how they stage all these events to make people stay in fear. Okay, hope you have a great Sunday. God bless everybody.